Hello children, welcome back to the class. Today I am going to teach you about phrases and clauses. So, what do you mean by phrases? As you all know, a phrase is a group of words within a sentence that does not contain a subject or a finite verb. So you all know what is a subject. About what we are talking, that is known as subject, and finite verb means what? A finite verb is a form of a verb that has a subject and can function as a root of an independent clause. Then, a phrase does not express a complete idea and so cannot stand as a sentence. And obviously, when a sentence is not having a subject or finite verb, it does not express a complete idea. So, we call it as phrase. For example, mother is making tea for the guest. So here in this particular sentence, for the guest, for the guest, this is what? This is phrase, because in this particular sentence there is no subject or any finite verb. So we call it as a phrase. Now, kinds of phrases. There are 5 kinds of phrases: noun phrase, adjective phrase, adverb phrase, prepositional phrase, and verbal phrase. So noun phrase means what? It does the function of a noun. And adjective phrase means what? It does the function of an adjective. Adverb phrase does the function of an adverb. And prepositional phrase, it works like a preposition in a sentence. And verbal phrase means the verbal phrase consists of either of the 3 gerund participles or infinitive working as its objects. So now, what do you mean by gerund? Gerund is a verb form which functions as a noun. So actually, gerund means what? It's a verb form. So you all know what is verb. Verb means action words. Yes or no? And we can also call it as auxiliary verbs. So when a verb which functions as a noun, we call it as gerund. So these are kinds of phrases. And now this phrase has 3 types. First one is gerund phrase, second one is participle phrase, and third one is infinitive phrase. So gerund phrase, as you all know, I have explained it already. Gerund means what? It's a verb. It functions as noun sometimes, so we can call it as gerund. So now in gerund phrase, it starts with a gerund, uses, modifies and other objects and acts as a noun, as I told you earlier. Example, sleeping late at night is not good for health. So sleeping late at night, actually if you see, sleeping means what? Sleeping means it's a verb, but here they are using it as a noun. So we call it as gerund. So this is what? Gerund phrase. Participle phrase. It consists of present participle, past participle, objects, modifiers and complements. So you all know in previous classes you have learned about participles, present participle and past participle, right? So it consists of present participle, past participle objects, modifiers and complements. Example, the table made of teak wood is expensive. So here what? Made. That particular thing. Okay, this is known as participle phrase. Now infinitive phrase. It starts with an infinitive and is followed by objects and or modifiers. Example, the boy shouted to inform people about the fire. So this is known as infinitive phrase. Now it's all about phrases. Now I am going to the second phase, that is clauses. So clause means what? A group of words that has a subject and a finite verb of its own and makes complete sense is known as a clause. As you all know, it's just opposite of phrase. In a phrase, what is not there? There is no subject as well as no finite verb. So we are calling, it never makes a complete sense. So we call it as phrase. Now in clauses, just opposite. That means it's a group of words that has a subject and a finite verb of its own and makes complete sense. So this particular, this is known as clause. For example, he is an honest man. he is an honest man. We can call it as one close sentence. When she opened the door, comma, I saw her. This is two close sentence. That means what? In both that particular sentence, there is a finite verb as well as subject. When she opened the door, I saw her and she greeted me. So see, when she opened the door, comma, I saw her, comma, and she greeted me. So three close sentence. So there are two types of clauses. Now I am going to tell you about the types of clauses. That is, first one is main or independent clause. The second one is subordinate or dependent clause. Now, main or independent clause. We can call it as main clause, or else we can call it as independent clause. A main clause is a group of words that contain a subject and a predicate. It reflects a complete thought and function as a complete sentence. So, main clause, in main clause, there is a subject, a complete thought, verb or predicate, can stand on its own. So when these four things comes along, we can call that particular sentence as main or independent clause. For example, Rohan plays the guitar. Vinita ran to victory in the last lap. The parents filed a complaint at the police station. So this is main or independent clause. So once again, I am just repeating the definition of independent clause. That is, it's a group of words that contain a subject and a predicate. So both subject as well as predicate. That particular sentence contains both these things. It reflects a complete thought and functions as a complete sentence. In a main clause, there will be a subject, a complete thought, verb or predicate, and can stand on its own. So now coming to the second one, that is subordinate or dependent clause. So a subordinate clause is a group of words that contains a subject and a predicate. It does not complete a thought. So in this particular sentence also, that it contains a subject as well as a predicate, but it does not complete a thought and so cannot function as a complete sentence, unlike main or independent clause. And also it is identified by a marker word or connector. Connector means what? When we use yet, but, and, nor, etc. Marker words means because, although, wherever, whenever. When these words comes and these words joins the two sentences. So we call it as subordinate or dependent clause. This clause cannot be a sentence because it does not complete a thought. So it depends on the main clause for its meaning. For example, Rohan plays the guitar because he loves music. In spite of the ankle injury, Vinita ran to victory in the last lap. When the little girl went missing, the parents filed a complaint at the police station. So these all are the examples of subordinate or dependent clause. Now, types of clauses. A subordinate or dependent clause may function as a noun, an adjective, or an adverb in a sentence. So the first one is noun clause. We are going to discuss about noun clause. A noun clause works as a noun in a sentence. A noun clause always starts with the words that, if, whether, WH questions, words such as who, what, when, and where. For example, whoever finished the homework will go for the movie in the evening. So, how you can identify that it's a noun clause? By the words which starts from that, if, whether, or WH questions. Now the second one is adjective clause. An adjective clause works as an adjective in a sentence and modifies a noun or a pronoun. Adjective clause begins with the relative pronoun that WH questions, words such as who, whose, which, whom, and is also relative clause. Example, Ravi rewarded the man who returned his wallet. So here who. He is wearing ring which is expensive. So here that particular word is which. Adverb clause. An adverb clause works as an adverb in a sentence. It modifies a verb, adjective clauses, or another verb clause in a sentence. It starts by so, because, although, as if, WH questions words such as who, what, where, when, which. For example, she was at the market when the storm started. He cannot go for the trip because he is unwell. That's all for today. Thank you.